Welcome back. So we've got a few hours on the new log splitter already. Kohler recommends an oil change after 5 hours. So we're going to go ahead and get that done today because we got our 5 hours on it. So join us and we'll walk you through and show you how it's done. So I have the log splitter in the garage. There's not a whole lot of room. It is a county line 40 ton. It has a 14 horsepower Kohler Command Pro, sorry. Pretty big engine actually. Supposed to hold about 10 gallon of hydraulic oil, a little over a quart of oil. Now I will tell you one thing, I'm not a big fan of this so far. That's the jack stand. I like the old style that you drop down and crank up. Now, of course, my hydraulic hoses. Here, let me back up. Of course, the hydraulic hoses, they're rubbing each other a little bit, so I got to do some adjustment there. I will say that this is kind of a neat new design over my old log splitter. Keep all your books in there so they don't get lost. The machine weighs just shy of 800 pounds. According to the website. Now, I'm not sure if that is dry weight or operating weight. So it does have a taller wedge than my other one, which is very handy because now it's up higher, so it does a better job of splitting than the older one. Mainly because I do cut a lot of larger logs. Alright, so we have our pan under here. We're going to go ahead and get this pulled. The drain plug on this particular engine, and it's a Kohler CH440. It's a 14 horsepower, 429 cc. The drain plug for this particular one is a 1/2 inch. Ooh. So we'll just go ahead and let that drain. We'll open this to allow it to drain a little faster there. Okay, so as you can see, it pukes all over itself here. I do know that they make a special like hose, you could call it, that connects here and it comes out so that way it won't do this. I'm gonna have to look at getting that for next oil change because this makes a mess all over itself. Alright, so let's get this put back in and we'll get it cleaned up a little bit more. I did check. This is a M12 with a 1.5 pitch. So I know what size of them I need to order. Because like I said, I don't like how this makes a mess on itself. Alright, so she's all cleaned up. Got her lifted up level. Alright, so according to the manual, this takes a little over a quart. Fill it until it gets to just about ready where it's going to pour out of the neck. And of course with a funnel, that makes it a little more difficult to judge. Yep, she's full. I don't know why they really give you a dipstick when they tell you to go ahead and fill it till it's about to come out of the neck. We are going to check to make sure that these are greased really well because I am traveling back and forth from where I cut and split wood. So I don't want to ruin them. Let's go ahead and get started and you can follow along. They probably make a special tool for doing this. I've never bought one. Never even really looked to see if they did. That's always how I've been getting them off. Oh boy. Doesn't look like there's much grease in here. So let's go ahead and get it pulled off here and see how much grease there is. I can tell you the bearing's not quite as tight as it should be. Yeah, that's not tight at all. Unless they tighten it and it broke in from going down the road a little bit I traveling home. I definitely don't care for that. Now, whenever you do this, make sure you keep everything in order the way you take it out so you know how to put it back in. As you can tell, let's see here, can you see it in the camera? There's not a whole lot of grease on these. So let's go ahead and I'll get the grease gun and we'll go ahead and get these repacked. Alright, so I'm doing the best I can. I don't want to pull the seal off the back. So I'm kind of getting down in here and pushing some in. Pump some in this way. Then I turn the tire around, reach in here and kind of push it into the bearing. I know it's not the best job. Then before I put it on, I'm going to pump the inside of it with some grease. Now it's looking a little bit better than what it did from factory. Alright, so I'm happy with that. We'll set that there. Alright, let's put a little more grease down in here. So we got a little more grease in there. I want to look to make sure it's not sticking out like it is right there. Because when I push it on, it's just going to push the grease back out. And these are taper bearings. Make sure the taper is facing in on that. And then we're ready for the nut and washer. Now there probably is a manufacturer's recommended tightness on this. My dad taught me tighten it till it just starts dragging a little bit. And then you also got to find the hole too. Alright, no movement. Spins fairly freely. There's a little bit of drag. Now we can put the cotter pin back in. Now, yes, you should put a new cotter pin. I'm not. This one ain't that bad. I don't like pushing them all the way in like this. I like to keep them out. Right like that. And then bend this down. Bend this one up. Yeah, I like a little bit of movement here because it makes it a lot easier to get out later on down the road. She's all greased up. Put the cap back on. Then we'll move on to the next side. Alright, so we're over here on the other side. I'm not going to bore you with the details on everything. I will show you what it looks like once I get it pulled here. See if it's as bad as the other side. Well, it sure don't look like it has a whole lot of grease either, so. And again, finger tight. Like I said, you don't want to make them too tight, because you will ruin bearings if you make them too tight. But you also don't want them finger tight. You want them just snug enough. Too loose, it wobbles and ruins the bearing. Too tight, and it will overheat and ruin the bearing. So you want to go around the whole thing. Kind of push it in there as best you can. Get in the front. Get in the back. Make sure you get all of it filled in. They do make a tool. I don't do this often enough, so I'm not buying it. If you do it right the first time, it'll last quite a few years. Now, the proper way to grease the inner one would be to pull this seal. Pull the bearing out, grease it, put it back in, and put the seal in. Problem is most of the time when you take a seal out, you ruin it. I don't have any seals on stock to do that, so I don't want to ruin that seal and then have to wait to get a seal ordered and sent to me. So yeah, I am cheating a little bit, and I'm hoping, kind of playing the odds, and I'm hoping that I don't regret it. Now, I did travel a little bit with this, even the way it was. So, and it didn't do like a whole lot. It didn't, as far as noticeable damage, it didn't do anything. So again, I'm playing the odds and hoping that this will be enough. There we go, we're all done. So, we got a little bit of maintenance done on the new log splitter. Got the initial oil change done. Repacked the wheel bearings with grease. And I think we're about ready to go back out and do some more splitting. And I'll give a better in-depth review of this log splitter towards the end of the season to let you know what my thoughts are on it. So far, my first impressions, this log splitter is very good. It's a beast. Compared to my 27-ton Troy built, this thing is unstoppable. So, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you'd like to see more like this, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon. YouTube will notify you every time I upload a new one. So until next time, guys, be safe out there, and we'll see you around.